Just wanted to give you a little insight on my pre-event routine. I arrived at the event early this morning, but last night when I came to town, I made sure I texted the meeting planner to let them know I was there and I would be there first thing in the morning. We've checked the sound, we've checked the AV, we've checked the lighting, and we also discussed the objectives for the meeting today. It's going to be a great event.
I just want to forewarn you, I'm going to make a few suggestions this afternoon. I'm not necessarily going to give you advice. I tend not to run around giving people advice, and the main reason I'm not going to give you advice is, well, frankly, Socrates was a man that went around giving people good advice, and I understand they poisoned him. So I was going to join you for lunch today, so I wasn't going to take any risks. But this is the information we're going to be discussing today. It has to do with leadership, and I want to share with you a couple of laws of leadership that I have found have been very valuable. Leadership is positional, but I also think it's personal. One of my favorite textbooks, as I taught as a college instructor for 26 years, was a book called Reaching Out, Interpersonal Effectiveness and Self-Actualization, written by Dr. David W. Johnson. And he dedicated a chapter to this list called the 6 Criteria of Personal Credibility, the 6 things we need to put in place to start our work relationships out most effectively. Now, they're in no particular order. According to his research, if you're lacking any one of these qualities, you're lacking credibility. 5 out of 6 really doesn't cut it. 4 out of 6, that's even worse. Take a look at that list. First one on that list is to consistently appear warm and friendly. Let's say we popped up out of our chairs and we went back to the back of the room where those double doors are, and we opened them up into the hallway, and all we did for the next few minutes is watch people walk by, and all we're going to do is observe them to determine whether or not they appear warm and friendly. Of course, nobody's walking by right now, but imagine there were people walking by and we go, no, ooh, no, hey, there's one, there's another one. How could we tell? What gives those people away that they appear warm and friendly? Yeah, they have a pleasant look on their face. They might even be smiling of all things. And if we're all standing there looking out that door, what do they do when they walk by? They'll make eye contact. If they recognize you, they'll whisper and wait. What's the out-of-pocket expense of appearing warm and friendly? Nothing. It's free. I have no idea what it costs us if we're not. It's one of the 6 criteria of being credible as a human being. Key word on that one is consistently. Because I don't know if you've ever worked with difficult people. Let's say you go back to work tomorrow and you're all warm and friendly. What do difficult people think? What do you want? What are you up to? Oh, did you go to one of those motivational speakers or something? That's what they'll say. Or let's say you have been consistently warm and friendly. One day next week you go straight to task. No friendly chit-chat with anyone. Ooh, what do difficult people think now? Grump, grouch. I bet they had a fight with their spouse. I bet it's their teenager. They'll just make it up. So the key is to be consistently warm and friendly. It's not that you walk in every day high-fiving and backslapping, saying how great it is to work together every day. But nobody worries who showed up today, the happy person or the unhappy person. You're even-keeled, pleasant to be around. And then Johnson says you need to express your intentions and motives, short-term plans, long-term goals. I'll call you at 10 o'clock. I'll stop by at 3 o'clock. And you do. So the majority of people find you to be trustworthy. You do what you say you're going to do. Now, appear warm and friendly, free. Express your intentions and motives, free. Do what you said you're going to do, free. And then Johnson says you also need to be an information source. What's pinned, pasted, posted on the wall, it's on the website. What qualified you for the job in the first place? Jobs redesigned, they provide you training to become competent again. To the point you develop something called relevant expertise. That in certain areas of what you do, you know more about that than anybody else. And when people have a question about that, they seek you out for the answers rather than wasting their time talking to anyone else. And then the last on the list is dynamism. And dynamism is natural enthusiasm. Dynamism isn't that you're doing calisthenics and jumping jacks in between meetings and phone calls, but dynamism is when you walk in a room, the lights get a little bit brighter rather than a little bit dimmer. When you come to work, people are happy to see you rather than resenting the fact you showed up again today. And they're all free. But I have a question for you. It's not a trick question. It's a mathematical equation. Be careful with your answer. What's 3 times 3? Careful now. What's 3 times 3? 9. Thank you. The reason I'm so careful about that is not too long ago I had someone shout out 6, and man, that's hard to respond to. So 9's a great answer. What's 5 times 5? 25. You're awfully good at this. What's 6,842 times 3,875? Now, that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. But if I gave you those numbers again and you all wrote them down, you could all give me the answer, couldn't you? Why? Because you know the formula. I bet 56 years on this. That's the formula. It's 3 times 3, it's 5 times 5. But I've noticed over the last 35 years, it's also 6,842 times 3,875. You take a look at somebody that's suffering or stumbling in their career right now, 1 or 2 of those missing. And if they could just put that in place, it'd be a lot easier for them and a lot easier for us having to work with them. And they're all free.